Hi, welcome back to the Investing Podcast, episode 3.
Shoot me.
We're talking about budgeting today. I'm your host, Oliver, as always. Today, our line of inquiry, we actually don't have one.
Wow.
Why is budgeting and what are some strategies can be employed?
That sounded so good.
What strategies can be employed?
Knowledge question. Wow.
Knowledge question.
Oh, look at you go. How can TOK
Anyway.
over here?
What is budgeting?
It's budgeting. At first, I thought it was saving money, right? Then we find that it's part of it, but it's not the whole picture.
I think what you said was like 2 words, right? Just money management, right? Just
Planning
managing
your
money.
expenditures and ensuring that you don't overspend, underspend, and make sure your money is being used wisely.
Right. Because like if you just look at saving, like what you have different types of saving accounts. You have like you can invest in stuff. That's all technically savings, right? Or like investment for the future, but the actual budgeting of your money, right? You have $100. What do you do with $100? Right, is kind of what budgeting is about, right? Saving money is just you have $100, you save it, and you're gonna get 12% on it, right? So next year you're gonna get 112. Next year you're gonna get. Somebody help me with the math here. What's 12 for?
The interest rate is 12%.
What?
Oh,
I'm sorry. We're being realistic here.
Let's do 10% S&P 500
Unless
average.
it might be. It should be like
$121, $132.
Okay, there we go.
Approximately.
Right, but yeah, that's the gist of what budgeting is.
budgeting looks different depending on where it's being
That's
applied.
true.
Your entire scope of personal finance, trying to maintain your financial security. You can budget in general, but also budgeting can be applied in any business venture or personal venture that involves money.
Well, you kind of need.
Planning an event.
But you need it
budget.
all the time.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Is this connected to, let's say, accounting or something that you have to measure, like your income, your revenue, all that stuff?
Could. Everyone's doing a little bit of accounting every single time they're handing in. Every time they're announcing their taxes and stuff. There's a little bit of accounting going on there. And honestly, budgeting, even though it could include accounting, you don't need it.
Like my possibly erroneous understanding of this is budgeting is what happens before, accounting is what happens after.
Oh,
If that kind of makes
yeah, you're just writing what happened with your budget.
because accounting is just
Yeah, it's like
Analyzing
budgeting is what
steps,
you will
yes.
do, and accounting is what you did do.
I guess budgeting is just it's going to be different for everyone, right? I mean, there's obviously the basics like the 5, 50, 30, 20,
right.
the pull up an Excel sheet, graph every single thing you've ever done, put a money value on that, and then just see investment look at your income, and then
Because
do
if
that.
you were to do accounting for years, expenses of a company, that would be accounting. It would be like the things that already happened. Budgeting would be
What you
you're
will
planning
do.
out.
Yeah, there is actually a really extreme
What you
method
want
of
to spend
budgeting
money.
that's similar to accounting.
All right,
Like
Maybe
it's
share that.
well, no, it's actually kind of simpler, but like it's like when I read about it, my first thought was just that's insane because it's basically you look at a month, right? You go through past month's expenses, and then you basically graph out or like you basically on Excel sheet or whatever, make out a list of every single expenditure you're gonna do, every single one.
That's just a balance.
Right. Okay. No, like you're gonna forecast it, right? And then it needs to equal your income for that month.
So it's basically
It's just
prediction.
like a really extreme version,
Business
and then
is
you have to follow that to a T.
Yeah, well, you don't
But
have.
this is for personal finances, which I find is insane.
So like you're gonna like when it comes to budgeting, you're gonna have to at some point in your life. You're gonna have to have it. Whether it's like you having a job or something, you're gonna have to need it because without budgeting, you're gonna be uncontrolled. And you're gonna spend money. Money goes by really fast. It goes, you think that you're buying that $2 coffee every day. That stacks up over the years.
$2.
Over the years. Every morning you get coffee, that's gonna stack up over the years.
It's essentially like budgeting is like, what percentage of my income or something I'm gonna spend on,
Yes,
Yeah.
you limit it to that. You limit it.
and make sure it doesn't go in the red or something.
I would like to first highlight the 50-30-20 budgeting plan.
Yes.
Do any of you know what that is?
50% savings, 30% spend, and then
Wait, 50% savings?
Something
is enough.
I'm pretty sure it's 50%.
50% on needs.
Yeah.
30% on wants, and 20%
Yeah.
on
Nathan's gonna be really a frugal life. He's gonna be rich when he goes older. You know, he's got 50%. Bro, no one. Actually, that's actually one of the most ideal, I would say, because
50,
if you, as long as you could take out, because in some way or another, what you can, using money and investing it again is always one of the better options.
But like,
if you had extra money lying around and you have no wants at all, and you only just paid out your needs and then just invested the rest, it would have been like the most ideal budgeting way. And in fact, you would like it over the years, you have so much money because you have never, because think about it, there's a lot more needs that we have in our life. Again, like that $2 coffee. That's a
It just depends on-
I'm sorry,
That's
that's
a
a need?
I meant wants. There's a lot of wants. The $2 coffee is a want or something.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, I want that occasional, outside to go meal or something. That's
No, but over time, it turns into a need, right? If you get into a habit of it,
Desperate.
that's just addiction.
You're not wrong. William here does bring up a good point. That does eventually go into a habit, which then kind of goes into just your needs.
That's like one of the problems with being frugal like that, like you're suggesting, is that nobody actually wants to endure
Yes,
60
exactly.
years of just that.
Exactly. So that's
So
why.
to be able
That's
to
why. That's why.
enjoy
If
that much
if
longer.
that if everybody was like that, where they just had no wants at all and just only focused on needs and saving,
Yeah.
then we would have no need for budgeting. Because like budgeting, the main
Well,
problem
by
all
doing
comes
that,
from
you're
your
already
wants.
budgeting.
Yeah.
That would just be.
There was-
I'm sure somebody has done that.
No, he actually did. During his entire, he just only really frugal, and just kept saving money, and then he started a fund, or after his death, the money in his will, right, was started a fund, and it was basically just sending people to college.
Oh yeah, I see. I
Yeah,
heard
that guy,
about
right?
No, I think no. It wasn't after he died though.
Was
It
it
was-
not? He died.
I thought no. He was doing
Is he
that.
still alive?
No.
It was like when he was alive, he was also doing. He would like he would give out. It was like a scholarship. He would give out scholarships to like those people, and it was like it was enough for them to completely pass college.
Oh,
Immediately,
20
he's
people
doing
now?
more than most
20.
people.
I was like 20.
20.
I saw a picture of him with the guy. That guy.
Oh, he's not dead.
so this person essentially lived a very frugal life, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end, he decided, I want to invest in these children. I want to do some charity work.
And I think his line idea was that he himself wasn't going.
Like now, this
Three.
theory works.
That's
if
rare.
You
It's-
have enough income. First
Yes.
of all.
Well, no, not necessarily.
I
After
think it's just like
taxes and living expenses and mortgage, like the
But they take a lot of from your pension.
Pension.
And then he just took out money from his pension.
Like, yeah, he just very.
So like you wouldn't be able to commit that much to savings over your lifetime if you
Yeah.
didn't have that leeway financially.
I
And-
saw a picture of the man.
But
you know,
pensions.
he wasn't buying you.
No,
It
but like
was just a play.
and if you,
right?
when you think about it, I think it was like an average male earns around $4 million in their lifetime. Was it?
Really?
4 million?
I thought it was 4 million in their
That's
lifetime.
about 15 and 6.
I thought it was like
Okay.
2 to 4 mil.
50
It
years.
was 2 to
So
4
that's 50
mil.
years.
Like an average person.
2 million
Okay,
is
no,
sort
no.
of reasonable.
No, here's the thing. If we say 15, or like that, right, let's just say like 24, you start earning like an actual like 40,000, whatever.
That's
40K.
Right, right, because like
What's
it's
the median
unrealistic
income? What's
for
the median income in Canada?
$36,000.
36,000?
36
Only
Only
36?
36,000.
Yeah.
per year.
Yes.
It's median, right?
Harry, I think
Pre-tax.
your figures are
I thought it
wrong.
was 2 to 4 mil. I thought it was either
2
2
million,
mil or it
maybe.
was
2 million,
4
maybe.
mil.
There's no way it's 36,000.
It is.
I also don't think
I thought it was in the 60,000.
Top 1%.
Yeah, it was an econ. It was 38,000, but that's average considering like, all the population.
Average.
Okay, what about educated? Right, because if we're starting at 20,
Yeah.
like if we're starting at 24, the guy's gone.
Educated after
Yeah, so how
educated,
much
that's
is-
like double,
Yeah, education.
double the
It's
trouble.
like what 70? They just go 20,000.
So I suppose we should move on to the
70,000.
importance of saving.
My brother
What do you guys
just
think
went-
saving?
There's okay. I'm gonna bring up one of these terms.
Real.
It's so for some people there's this thing called paycheck to paycheck. It's basically meaning when you get your paycheck, you live just enough to get $0 left in your bank account before you get the next paycheck, and it's enough for you to just live by.
which is a sort of equal.
Which is one of the I would say
It's a horrible equilibrium.
not. Yes, it is a
It's
bad
like
way.
having no
It's
unemployment.
basically
It's
no budgeting. It basically means no budgeting, and it's not going into debt.
So you
Like,
spend all the money that you earn
yes,
before.
Yeah.
But then, let's say your car breaks down or something.
You don't
That
take it-
means
yeah.
you won't be able
Yeah.
to feed your children.
starve the children for the car.
You should always have like I forgot what you call it. Maybe a
I'm gonna
rainy
check
day
math.
fund for in case there's like an economic downturn, you get fired from a job, or maybe your car breaks down, or some emergency expenditures that you should keep just in case of an emergency.
So like going back to his points, 50, 30, 20, that's the most ideal way of budgeting your income. And then at the same time, you also have to take into consideration, yes, you're like, that's like for the part that you're spending. And then you can also take into account like what you're earning. Like you might be able to earn more if you had a side job or like a gig or something that you were doing, maybe as a hobby or something, perhaps it earns a little bit, but again, stacks up over time. You get $10 a month, no, not a month, like a week, and it stacks up over a lot of years.
What do you guys say that budgeting is more important for those who are less, I guess, financially secure? Because you would need to manage things more.
Well,
Budgeting helps become
rigorous.
more financially
I
secure.
think like if I was less economically stable, right? I'm gonna allocate more of my income to the needs, right? I'm not gonna
would you?
I'm not gonna unless you're I know you're probably not gonna invest a lot. Maybe you're not gonna go to vacation or wants, right? So it depends on.
There is actually a concept that we learned in geography. Basically stated, after a certain amount of affluence is reached, you stop spending on needs like food and stuff because you're just not going to need that much more money to put towards that. So
Oh.
instead, you spend on luxuries or investing.
That's when you start earning a lot of. That's for like people
That's
who are
for the-
wealthy, right? The people who are.
Like if you're going paycheck to paycheck, right?
If you're going paycheck to paycheck, then the vast majority of your income would be going towards your needs.
It's extremely
Yeah, very
dangerous, and you can easily
room
go
for-
bankrupt.
But the thing is, right? Like what you say, it's dangerous, right? But like I don't think people are choosing to be paycheck to check.
Because they're like, there's a lot of problems again with, I don't know, people look towards
Cheap, easy needs, wants that
that's
quickly
true.
become a need, like Nathan said, those addictions or something.
I don't know, like a $5 coffee a day over a year. That's a few thousand.
1.5 thousand. Well,
Yeah.
1.8 because you got 60
Almost two-
times
almost 2K.
60 times
Don't
50,
count
which
don't
is-
count the weekends.
we're not doing weekends too.
Back to what Oliver was saying about how first you spend on your needs and then you spend on luxuries and goods. This relates to the law of diminished marginal utility. So it's the theory where, let's just say you go to McDonald's and you eat a Big Mac. That Big Mac maybe has like $5 of value to you, but for each successive Big Mac,
You get
eat,
less.
You get less, and eventually it turns into negative value because you're about to throw up.
How would that connect to what it's
It shows that for budgeting, I believe it's more important for people who are less economically stable
That's true. Oh yeah, and it brings another point.
because
Like,
you can't afford to.
The healthcare, right? Like again, if you're addicted to something, it starts your money that even though you spend supposed to go to wants to satisfy your wants, it
Right.
quickly becomes negative money because you're spending it, but at the same time it's decreasing your healthcare, right? And then like if you can take healthcare as money, like eventually one day, an accident might happen or something. You're gonna have to pay a lot of medical bills or something.
Yeah.
Or you got to keep up your insurance at least, which is
Not in the
another
US.
liability.
You got
Yeah.
Medicaid or something in the US? Or, you got something like that caters to the lower class, right? Here in Canada, probably there's insurance or something that you have.
We have health insurance.
So let's just say
does too.
Like if you were a Canadian citizen, I don't think you get it.
Canada has agreements with other countries that give the same ability to their citizens. Basically, I believe if you go to Australia, you will and you get your leg cut off or something, right? Like you take an arrow to the knee or whatever, right? Right. You get mold. Your looks at you, thinks you're ugly, and it knocks you out, right? Because Canada and Australia, I think so, right? Because we have a pact or agreement, it's still free.
That's interesting. It goes both ways.
I think so. I believe so. But then to take
Imagine it
America up,
doesn't.
America doesn't give this ability to, for example, Australian citizens. Right.
Because like it's a industry for profit
Right.
in the U.S.
Which is another problem. Like
I mean, I think that
I'm sure we all know America is supposed to have a lot more opportunities. And then a lot of people say, oh, there's more job opportunities in the U.S. So lots of people are moving to the U.S.
Yeah.
But again, you have to take into consideration what are the health implications of this because of the
I
problem.
feel like this can be itself a topic, right? Because if you look, like America's like this huge,
wasteland.
like
Economic
industrial, capitalistic, just machine, right? That's just churning out just resources. It's churning it out, right? It's a whole topic, right? About like health, for example, like healthcare in America.
Like, what are
It's part of this
implications,
giant.
right? What are its
machine.
implications?
By the way, since we're doing freeform, right? Is it okay we just go off random tangents here and there?
We can.
No, sure.
Because
Go on.
Let's stop this real quick. Let's see the time.